Hello, chicos. Hello, chicas. India, India, India. This appears to be the keyword to any video really anyone wants to make about the Olympiad. Both the men and the women are still dominating. Yeah, what a sensational performance by both of those teams. Of course, we shouldn't forget about individual performances, which there are many super impressive ones. But as far as teams are concerned, and let's be honest, the Olympiad is a team event. The Indian teams so far are the absolute, red-hot favorites. Gukesh was super impressive, who has got now a rating performance of, I think, nearing 3,000. Erigaisi finally dropped the half a point. Unbelievable, right? So he's not on perfect score, but his performance is still amazing. Yeah, there is so much to talk about, but I'm not going to cover either of those teams today because I found an absolute banger, another beautiful attacking game, and attacking chess is always closest to my heart. So on the menu now is a game from the Israel-Iceland, I hope I don't get that wrong, match, Rodshtein against Stefansson. The opening is going to be semi Tarash, and this opening is going to feature a move right now that, as the thumbnail says, nowadays is just the new norm. Nothing surprising. Harry the H running forward into the abyss. Absolutely nothing here. No hook, nothing. And yet, no worries. We are on the go. No questions asked. And the incredible thing is that the engine approves. Absolutely, the engine approves. Forget about center, actually not true. We already are dominating the center. And as you will see, this is actually a developing idea too. B6 played, H5, because let's go. H6, Rook H3. And one particularly cool thing about this idea of this very early Rook lift is the fact that by moving the rook, and work with me here, you are developing the bishop. You heard that right. Because now the bishop is a fully potent attacker from C1. It doesn't need to be moved. And if it does move, very likely, it's going to end up on bishop B2. By the way, quick going back to the beginning, note the incredible wisdom and forethought, let's call it prophylaxis, behind the move Rook B1. This may look like a weirdo, but actually, if white wants to play for a win, literally the only sensible move to play, because the old main lines have all been analyzed to death. And if black manages to trade another pair of minor pieces, these positions are nightmarishly difficult to win nowadays. And so Rook B1 cancels out that super pesky check. That's the main purpose of the move. And so now we have got the rook lift. And bishop takes h6 is a genuine game-winning threat. King h8 forced, bishop d3, and the opponent, he played knight c6, which according to the engine is a mistake already. The knight needed to go to d7 and continue its journey to the king side to f6 to provide sturdier defense to the king. Knight c6 played, queen d2. Now this looks like a major weirdo, but actually this move is quite powerful. The idea is that we want to bring the queen to the king side via f4. And it turns out that knight takes d4 is not playable on account of takes and bishop b2, which brings about 4,000 deadly threats on the king side. And so rook g8 played. Very desperate move. King f1, prophylaxis again, stepping out of all checks and nasty ideas on the diagonal. Now knight d4 is losing even more beautifully than before, because now you see the key idea, the pin on the g7 pawn, so the queen goes away and boomski. That, friends, is a checkmate and a half. Beautiful. So d4 is immune to capture, and so black played rook c8 and d5. Of course, we are more than happy to shred a pawn in order to open up both bishop's diagonals towards the enemy king. Take, knight c8. Note that queen takes d5 is really not that great here, although the line I'm going to show you here is quite a mess. Bishop b2, f6 forced, knight h4, and it looks like it's completely resignable, but bishop a6 sort of saves the day. Check, check, check. And in the end of this crazy capturing sequence, white emerges with an extra piece, but black has got a fair few pawns. The white king is still a bit awkwardly placed. This is still a game to be won. Instead, Stefansson, after d5, immediately dropped back to b8, and this is the point of no return. Now the white's attack is going to be absolutely unstoppable, beautiful, lovely, super aggro. 95, put your pieces in the center. Yes, that's right. Mate threat, friends, no less. Yeah, that's mate in one. Bishop takes d5, queen f4. A sneaky move with the idea of queen f5 and the tiny little check Matutsky on h7. So that needed to be addressed, hence knight d7. And now we are going to go bishop b2. And that, friends, introduces a checkmate pattern that is going to recur in the game a number of times. So, for example, if I play some kind of a nonsensical looking pass, then we have got check and mate. And this motif is going to once again recur a little bit later. So knight f6 played dominantly to block off the diagonals so that we don't have this super filthy threat. But now queen f5 is also very, very, very unpleasant to meet. Queen e8, the reason why we needed that move is because f7 needs some extra love. So for example, if I just play a meaningless pass, then comes the game move rook g6. So let's have a look at how that goes. Queen e8, rook g6. Absolute bananas chess. Like, it is just so impressive how many pieces white can sack in various ways and in various combinations to get to a checkmate. So for example here, my favorite line is if we don't take. Let me show you what happens then. This is gonna be mental. So here the checkmate is this. Rook h6 check, g takes h6, queen h7 check, knight takes h7, and unfortunately here I have got two checkmates to pick from. Let's go with knight g6 because that even keeps this alive, and the double checkmate is nothing short of sensational. Beautiful mate, and even the lead up to it with rook g6, boy oh boy, this is what good chess looks like. Really loving this game. So FG was more or less forced, and yeah, actually I forgot to show you a line. After bishop b2, I'm having so much fun. If bishop g5, queen f5, knight f6, and f4 is the game-winning idea. If bishop h4, we go rook g6 again. And if they take it, this is something I wanted to demonstrate that I couldn't quite with the game. Then now we have got a stock standard smothered mate with check, check, and mate. It never rains, it pours. Yeah, so back to knight f6. Queen f5, queen 8, rook g6. And so after takes, knight takes. Here, black opted to sack the queen. Although, now, there is no forced mate because the queen is covering the g6 square. So white is actually better off taking everything they can and recreate the threat. In fact, according to the machine, this is now mate in 7. But I will spare you from that because it's very obvious that black can only delay the inevitable by unnecessary moves. And so the best that black had in this crazy position was to sack the queen and hope for the best. But on this level, it's just not good enough. It's basically queen for rook minor piece. All white's pieces are super active. The black king is in danger. This is not looking good. Threat is rook takes d8, followed by bishop f6 takes and picking off the rook. So black had to counterattack. So if I take, they'll take here. And the rest requires very, very limited commentary. White shoved up the kingside pawns, and ultimately it was good enough for a W. G5 played, and at this point black resigned, because if the knight moves random, then it's mate. If the knight moves to a square where it defends G7, then I can just take H6, and the pin once again on the king on H8 decides. And so that is how this game ended. A remarkably awesome attack. I really, really liked it. It was just sensational. It was very naturally flowing, like H4, H5, rook lift, and from there on out, Rodshtein just, it felt like he was just, his position played itself without any dramas whatsoever. So yes, super, super cool game. I hope you guys liked it a lot, or at least as much as I did. Thank you very much for staying with me. I am obviously going to keep a keen eye on the top boards, and I am not avoiding them on purpose, but I always like to pick a game that I find really, really educational, and I think that this definitely was one of the best picks of the litter. So on that note, thank you very much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, to comment, to subscribe to the channel for more of these, and of course I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.